Hello there, folks. Hey, this is Joe Wazoo here. Hey, I'm doing a little testing here with some tags, non-retentive and retentive, to see what happens with different alarm states. So in this application I'm working on here, I have three tags: tag 1, tag 2, and tag 3. I want you to notice they're all internal. They're blue. Notice that they're all X's, means they're integers. Notice that on all three of these, currently, they are set to non-retentive. So if you notice, all three of them are set to non-retentive. And if I go to the alarms tab, so here I'm clicked on tag 1, go to the alarms, and I've got the alarms set for all three absolute high. Tag 1 goes above 16,000. Here's the value. That will trip a level triggered alarm. The acceptance is set to manual. I also have here a tag 2. It's the same settings, tag 2 above 16,000. It's an edge triggered alarm. And I also have tag 3 set to an edge triggered event. And if I go to the display pages, all I'm doing here is I've got my three tags here. They're set up as data entry so we can play around with this. Tag 1, I put it here just so we can see for notes that it's a level triggered alarm. Tag 2 is an edge triggered alarm, and tag 3 is an edge triggered event. I just want you to see what happens here. And then of course I got my alarm viewer primitive here, and that guy is set normal standard. I really have nothing in here I'm changing differently. It's pretty much all stock. The only thing I changed is the time format. I'm trying to go to this here format here, 12 hours, so we'll see what happens. And then the event viewer, doing the same thing on it. Whoops, if I get it to come up here. And it's all stock settings. I'm not doing anything here in this thing as well. And nothing's changed. It's all stock other than the time format there. Those primitives, the alarm viewer and event viewer are found in primitives. They're going to be in the system primitives, and they are the top three. This one's the alarm viewer, this one's the event viewer, and that's it. Yeah, these others, there's a ticker here too. You can use this too, but anyway, I'm just focusing on these two. So if I go ahead and download this to our HMI, there we go. And I got the web page up and running. So let's go ahead and play with this. So if I put this at say 15,000, you see nothing happens. But if I take this above 16,000, you can see that I get both an alarm alarm here in the alarm viewer and an event thing here. And then if I go to this one and put it at some number, nothing there. But if I go above 16,000 on this one, you'll see that it shows up here and here. And this one's an edge triggered event. So on this one, if I put some number in, nothing. And if I take this above 16,000, you see that I get an edge triggered event here in this case. So that's what I'm doing here. Now, the real test to this, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cycle power to this unit, and I want to see what happens on this screen. So give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the HMI. All right, so I'm resetting the HMI. Should start back up here. There it goes. This page normally times out, but hasn't timed out yet. But let's see what happens here. All right, so it comes up. Let me go ahead and refresh it. Maybe I'll go back here and then hit remote view. Let's see if it shows up here. Really? Go back again here. Okay, there. I have a loose cable here. Well, should come back up here. So I've got an Ethernet cable that's missing its tab, so it keeps falling out. But so here I am, team. So I cycled power, and this is interesting because the active alarms are gone. The values are back to 0 because they're non-retentive, but the event viewer kept the information, which is kind of interesting if you ask me. So it kept the information here. Now I can go click the clear button here, clears it, and it's back to default. But these all went back to 0, and of course it cleared all active alarms, which makes sense because these are non-retentive, so that they went back to 0. What I want to do this time, though, is I'm going to go to all the tags, go to the data tab, and I'm going to set them all as retentive. So there I've set all of them to retentive. We save this. Let's go ahead and download this to the unit. All right. Well, that's interesting too. Look at that. When I brought them back as retentive, they brought back the values. That's very interesting. Hmm. That's well, of course, the database has the same identifier, so that's interesting that that occurred in my mind. Given that they were zero, they were not retentive, but hmm. So it makes me wonder if I should have downloaded a new blank database without an identifier to make this a true test. But let's put this below here. Okay. All right, so there's all the values. I'm going to go ahead and clear this, accept it, and then I'm going to clear them here. Okay, so they're all well below there. So there's the values. Now I'm going to cycle power to it this time, and I want to see if it keeps these values. So let me go ahead and cycle power again. Okay, I'm waiting for the screen to boot back up. Let's see if these come back as these values, or if they, oh, it kept, so there it did. Well, look at that. So it didn't update these two. It did update, well, that's interesting. Now that delay between me setting these and letting the HMI sit was pretty much like 30 seconds. So I think you might need to leave these a little bit longer, but this is also interesting. Notice this number is quite a bit above the 16,000, but it hasn't done an edge triggered, so it hasn't went below and above. That's what you see here, and that's the same with the edge trigger here. So in order to get these to re-trigger, I would have to put it below that number and then put it back above our special number. There you go. And the same goes for this one. Put it below. Then if I make a rising edge greater than 16,000, there you go. This one here, let's go ahead and put it. Okay, so there's the numbers right there. And I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for a little bit. I'm going to let it sit for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to cycle power and see if it keeps these on. So let me go ahead and let this sit for a couple minutes. Okay, so I let it sit for a couple minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and cycle power, see if these stay up. I did take a screenshot of it just to have the values written down to see if they stay up. So let me go ahead and cycle power to the unit now. Okay, so I cycled power to the unit, and looks like those HMIs, the numbers came back. Let me look here. So I reset, did a refresh here, and we can see this one kept the values just like before. The only difference is that we lost this. Well, this one's an edge trigger. That makes sense. This is the screenshot before we did that. So we lost that because that's an edge trigger. So that's correct. This has to, of course, go below that number. And then we'd have to go back above it to cause that edge triggered event. But as you can see, team, it did keep those values. So retentive tags will keep the status of the alarms during a power cycle, and the event window kept them active as well. Anyway, just thought I'd show a quick video of that. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a great day.